Good afternoon to all the attendees who's attending the Masterclass 2024 season with us here. So this is episode 8, and in today's Masterclass, we are going to see how we are going to integrate ServiceDesk Plus with Microsoft ecosystem applications for some seamless ITSM operations. This is Shivanand here, serving as a senior product specialist with an experience of 5 years into this team here. Without any further ado, let's get started right away. So, as we get started, the agenda of today's session is going to be four main properties here. The first property is going to be single sign-on, aka SAML. How Manage Engine Service Desk Plus have integrated with Azure portal to enable seamless sign-in for all the end users and technicians with the help of SAML mechanism. And secondly, we are going to see how we are going to access the self-service portal and raise tickets within the Microsoft Teams application for some seamless operations that will make the day-to-day job of the end users and the technicians very much easier. Thirdly, we are going to see, apart from Microsoft Teams, we also provide integrations with your mail platform, which is the Outlook given here. So once we are integrated with also the Outlook platform, we can also perform various ticket actions within your mailbox using the Microsoft Outlook. And finally, we also enable the administrators of the application to track and manage the technicians' availability by integrating MS Calendar with ServiceDesk Plus. So here, as we get started, I'd like to give a quick overview of the upcoming webinars that is going to happen in a very short period of time here. So the first webinar is going to be how we are going to deliver a unified ITSM experience by integrating ServiceDesk Plus with Endpoint Central. So in that webinar, we are going to have a deep dive about Endpoint Central's powerful mechanism management and its security features, a quick overview of the key ITSM capabilities in ServiceDesk Plus, and the step-by-step instructions on how to integrate Endpoint Central with ServiceDesk Plus along with its benefits. Finally, tips and tricks to handle the enterprise ticket lifecycle with real-time demos on simplifying their resolutions. And the second webinar is going to be about integrating ITSM within ServiceDesk Plus with the ITOM. That will be with our Manage Engine Op Manager. So with that integration platform, we are going to see how we can build and maintain a healthy CMDB in ServiceDesk Plus. The feature about syncing the layer 2 relationships from Op Manager to ServiceDesk Plus, so that we'll have an effective asset management that will help the change management too, and how we can automate the conversion of op managing alerts directly as tickets into ServiceDesk Plus, and how to trigger relevant incident management workflows. And finally, an actionable step-by-step plan on how to make the Op Manager and ServiceDesk Plus integrations work for you with screenshots and live demos. All you have to do is just register the QR code given in the screen, and you can directly attend the webinars that's going to happen in upcoming days. So let's get started with our masterclass session here. The first point is going to be about how we are going to integrate SAML with ServiceDesk Plus, the single sign-on. As we get started, I'd like to give you a use case scenario, and then we can go into the concept here. So the use case here is, let's take two organizations, Organization A and Organization B. In Organization A, the members in the organization has to work on multiple platforms in their day-to-day life, be it Teams or Outlook, be it the in-house development platform or multiple applications. They have to switch between multiple applications. What happens here is that Organization A has not enabled SAML single sign-on. What happens here is they'll have to sign in into each application individually. So as an individual, I have to remember multiple passwords in my mind here. So there is a chance that I may, in one fine day, there is a chance that I may forget one of the passwords that is to sign in into one of the key applications, be it ServiceDesk Plus itself. So I have to remember the password for signing into ServiceDesk Plus, and one fine day I forgot the password. What happens is that as a technician myself, I'll have to ping my administrator or IT team to sort this out. And apart from that, nowadays, all the applications by themselves, just to show how secure they are, they'll have to reset the password within 30 days or 60 days or 70 days. That happens. We would have come across that situations in our day-to-day life by default. So here, what we are doing is that the organization A, without having the SAML enabled in their end, what happens here is they are forcing the end users or the users to remember multiple passwords. What happens here is when I am forced to remember multiple passwords, I'll be noting the passwords in one place or another, where I'll be noting down them in a notepad, or I'll be noting them in my phone, or I'll be having it as send it as an email to myself. So what happens here is, as soon as I expose the password in the form of written here, be it my notes platform or email, or I store it somewhere inside my workstation itself, I risk exposing my password to third parties or some hackers here. So this is where problems arise. Not just because we are enforcing the users to remember the passwords and therefore they are recording the password in one platform or another. What happens is that these things are exposed to vulnerability. So this is the scenario of organization A. Now let's take organization B, the same set of users here who also work on multiple platform in their day-to-day life. They'll also have to log in into their Teams or Slack, Outlook or Gmail. They'll have to sign in into multiple platforms and collaborate within each other, and then get the work done by the end of the day. So here what happens is that organization B has smartfully enabled SAML in their organization. So now that I've told you organization B has enabled SAML, I'll have to tell you what SAML is and how the SAML mechanism works basically. So I'm going to give you a quick example of Google here, because everyone in the session would have come across this mechanism once or another. So what happens is that, remember, as soon as you open your workstation, you'll have to sign in into the Chrome browser only once. What happens is that as soon as you sign into the Chrome browser, you have signed in inside your account. As soon as you open Google Meet, Google Sheet, or Hangouts, or even YouTube, what happens is that it immediately takes you inside the application and your account will be shown on the right top corner. So has anyone ever wondered how that has happened? I haven't even signed it into YouTube, or I haven't signed into Google Sheets or Meeting separately. So this is where SAML works. SAML works is that one authentication, multiple authorization. So this is the concept of SAML. Just by signing in into one primary IDP, which is identity provider, I'm providing my credentials to all the service providers here. The service providers in this case will be YouTube, Google Sheets, Google Meeting, Hangouts, etc. This is the same concept which you are using here. So here in ServiceDesk Plus, we also offer multiple identity providers to be signed in. So the example which we are going to take here is about Azure. So we are going to speak about Azure as an identity provider. So the organization B, what it does, coming back to the use case, what they'll have to do is, so as soon as they sign in, as soon as they come to work, they open their workstation. What they are currently doing is they open the browser and they just log in into their Azure portal alone. So as soon as they log in into the Azure portal, they can immediately just access the URL of Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Power BI, n number of Microsoft applications. As soon as they open multiple applications, they'll be seamlessly logging in into each one of them. Therefore, here what happens is that this user on the organizations B or users in organization B just have to remember only one single password. Therefore, we are exposing the risk of vulnerability, and we are also not causing additional workload for the end users to keep remembering the password. So therefore, we can get more work done by its end users. So that is the overall concept here. So now we have known about the features of SAML and how SAML works in the backend. Now just let's see how the integration parts work directly from ServiceDesk Plus. So I'm just going to log in into SAML with here in my account. So as soon as I give the sign in as login with SAML, it directly authenticates and then it brings into my application. So now what happened in the backend is that as soon as I click on sign in with SAML, it directly took me to the identity providers page. here in that case will be Azure. It took me to an Azure pop-up, and in that Azure pop-up, I am being asked to sign in within my uh, normal email address and Azure portal credentials. As soon as I give my Azure credentials, what happened is that it then authenticated my user profile and then matched with the data that is given in ServiceDesk Plus, and it logged in. All of these things happen in the backend within fraction of seconds, so that as an user, I will not feel any lag at all. So how this is done is that let me just quickly show you the integrations part so that it will be very visible for you. So navigate to the admin button, scroll down under general settings, you'll have SAML, or in a simple way, you can just search for SAML single sign-on. So under single sign-on, it is enabled. You have to enable SAML single sign-on, and then by default, you'll have to give all the Azure portals credentials here under login URL, under logout URL. All of the things is given, and you'll have to just apply the certificate and save. Once all the settings has been saved, you'll be able to use the SAML part. Additionally, I would also like to show you, so this part here, our documentation part, which is very vital. Yep. This is our revamped admin guide for you guys. So under SAML, just search for SAML. It will take you to the SAML authentication page. So here you can see we have given a proper documentation about how SAML works. What is a service provider, user, identity provider? What are all the various uh, identity providers we support? We support ADFS, OneLogin, Okta, Azure, Google Suite, everything. So what are all the basic functionalities? How to sign in using Azure? What is the basic functionalities to set up SAML as an Azure as an identity provider? Complete information with screenshots is properly available in our admin guide itself, so that you can go through the complete details once, and you can directly integrate it inside our application. Additionally, as a bonus, what we have also given is that I'll show you what happened here is that we also have given you troubleshooting tips here. What happened here is that in case while you're logging, in case if you feel some sudden one of the user is unable to log in, you can just visit our admin guide itself. According to the error code, you'll be able to quickly rectify what went wrong. In case if you yourself you're able to identify what the issues and fixed on your end, you can do it, or you can reach out to the support team and we'll be helping you out with fixing the errors. So this is the primary benefit of integrating SAML within ServiceDesk Plus. With this, we have completed the first part of the integrations with Microsoft Azure. Let's move on to the second part, which is the much asked feature across the globe inside our application. This feature has been waiting for a very long time, and it is now available for all the users. How to access self-service portal and raise tickets within Microsoft Teams portal such that it helps the day-to-day work. So here also I'd like to give you a small use case scenarios. So earlier, before the Microsoft Teams integration, obviously, what happened here is that people used to juggle between applications. They'll be having their Teams portal in one application. They'll be having their mail login in another tab, and they'll be having their service desk in another tab. So one of the common feature requests that we received earlier is that the ability to approve approvals or reject approvals directly from the Teams portal. All the users or the feature request that we received was they wanted to reduce the switching between of applications. They wanted to have Service Desk Plus inside Microsoft Teams, because on an average, when we were developing this feature, we found that on an average, all the users who use Microsoft Teams in their organization spend around 4 to 5 hours in a day out of 9 hours, because that is Teams has now become one of the primary applications that is essential to collaborate with all the people inside their organization. I hope everyone here will also accept that. So most of the time is spent on Teams applications. So we wanted to also utilize that, and we wanted to bring Service Desk Plus directly into the Teams platform, so that it will make things easier for the end users, technicians, and administrators to carry out small functionalities. Be it for a technician, it will be easier to pick up the ticket or assign tickets For an end user, they'll be able to add notes, or in case if the end user by themselves as an individual, they are an approver, they'll be able to quickly approve or reject a ticket. And as an administrator, I'll be able to log in into the ServiceDesk Plus portal, and I'll be able to view what is the ticket, what is the current scenario. So for all types of sectors of people, we have given enough enough time period and developed this feature. That is what we wanted to tell. So here, the basic features and functionalities is going to be how we are going to raise tickets, how we can pick up our assigned technicians, add notes, and as I told you earlier, more with Microsoft Teams, we'll be able to view the pending approvals, or we'll be able to reject approvals. And finally, how we can access self-service portal directly from our Microsoft Teams application. So here, let's get started. So I've already logged in into my Teams portal as an technician. This is the technician portal, and this will be the requester portal. So here I'm going to first show you what is the capabilities, what are the things that is available from an applications point of view. So here you'll have to go into the administrator tab, scroll down under apps and add-ons, integrations. Under integrations, navigate to third party. And under third party, you will have Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and the calendar integrations part. So under the Microsoft Teams applications part, one of the prerequisites I'd like to start as we move into the session will be, you will have to host your application in internet to use any of the Microsoft integrations. That is one of the prerequisites that is not set by application RN. It is one of the prerequisites set by the Microsoft themselves. So that is one of the prerequisites we'll have to keep in mind in case if you wanted to integrate ServiceDesk Plus with Microsoft Teams. So here we have given you enough details of how to add application ID, tenant ID, what is the redirection URL, what are the bot commands. Same as I told you earlier, the documentation part is very crisp and clear. So here under our admin guide, we have given you clear indication with screenshots and proper navigation on how to integrate Microsoft Teams with ServiceDesk Plus. What are all the capabilities? What are all the functions it can do? How to add commands? All the complete details with proper screenshots. It's available here. And if you also navigate to YouTube, you'll also find an integration video that will make things even easier for you. Coming back to the application, once all the integration part is set up and you have enabled and updated, here by default we have listed you certain commands here. By default we have listed you certain commands that certain bot commands that will help the end users to directly access them by typing in the slash command. Slash command, you can just view the pending requests, create requests, or you can view all your open requests. And apart from this, if you want to add some custom commands, that is also available with this button. Just click on this button. You'll be able to add some custom actions with the help of scripting functionality in the backend. And finally, coming on to the notifications part. So this notifications part is directly associated with the support teams of the ServiceDesk Plus. So after here, you'll be able to choose what are all the support groups that is available and what are all the notifications that has to be triggered to the support groups. Those informations are classified, chosen here, and you have to update it. Considering that all the integration part is now done correctly, we are moving on to the integration Microsoft Teams application directly. So here you'll be able to view the Microsoft as a bot command. It will be available here on the left hand pane, so you can directly access it. You see Microsoft bot will be available here, and when you access that, you'll be taken on to this screen. So by default, I'll be listed out with several of the bot commands that is available. So here I would like to view what are all the pending approvals available. Either I can just type pending approvals, or I can directly click on this. So here, by as an end user, I don't have any pending approvals. So let's see as a technician. So I've already given pending approvals as a command here, and I have one of the pending approvals that is given listed to me. So here I can directly click on take action, and I'll be able to approve or reject ticket. Apart from that, in case if the user is part of an ESM instance, they can easily switch instance within the command of /instance. bot command slash instance, you'll be able to switch between instances. So here, what are all the other things that we can do with the as a technician here? We'll be able to add notes, chat with the requester directly, and then we'll be able to pick up tickets and approve tickets. So now, one of as we were discussing about the chat feature here, I would like to give another use case scenario. So let's take a scenario where the user's laptop, one of the individual's laptop inside the organization is completely locked. That can be of various reasons. It could have been due to a Windows patch or an antivirus upgrade, or he or she might have even lost charge inside their workstation. So now, urgently, they have a critical request that is raised under the name in ServiceDesk Plus portal, and they'll have to know the update because it is a critical server they are upgrading. Let's take, so whatever reasons, it is a critical request and it needs immediate updation. Their workstation is not available. They just have access to Teams within their iPad or iPhone or any tablets they have. So now what needs to be done is they can immediately go to their Microsoft Teams app, and as an end user, they can just chat with the user. So now I'll show you what happens here. So here I'll have to choose application support. So remember, as soon as I click on chat, let's see what happens on an administrative panel. So this is how it will be shown for all the technicians and administrators working in ServiceDesk Plus. The people who are using the application and who are currently logged in, they'll have a pop-up in the left-hand side saying that it is urgent, or the technician who trying to reach the technician, the requester who's trying to reach the technician can immediately access this, and they can either pick it up or reject it. So I'm going to pick up and speak, and it is going to be a seamless process. How you guys chat on with your colleagues on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to speak about uh, hello James. So here I'm going to be hello David. So in this way, you can just have a normal, proper conversation in an easier way of conversation within the technician and the requester. This can be in the scenario which I mentioned, or rather, as a technician, if you feel rather than sending an email to the end user and then asking for any of the updates for a particular pending ticket, if you feel that I can directly chat with the technicians, what happens is that earlier the same process you guys would have been followed, but what happened is you would be following it in Teams without any integrations part. Now with the Teams integrations, what the benefit here is, I'll be able to transfer the chat to my fellow colleagues here. Like I'll be on the way to my lunch session, or I have to go to take lunch. During that time, have picked up a chat, and it's kind of critical. But however, my lunch is going to finish. During those times, I can easily transfer the chat to my fellow colleague here, and they can just leave. Or once I quickly finish the queries of the requester, I can end the session. So here we are also giving you an option to create request as soon as you end the chat. Here you can just choose what are all the templates that is available, or in the service request, be it service request or incident request, based on the query that is raised by the end user. So directly you can just close, and the ticket will be created on the application by themselves. So these are all the primary benefits of integrating MS Teams with ServiceDesk Plus. And the final point which we are going to say is how to access the self-service portal within Microsoft Teams. So here I'll have to give in login with SAML. Okay, this is my side of things, guys. Sorry. So here, as soon as I've given here, it will come. Just allow me a moment here. So here, all the entire request view or my self-service portal is directly available here. So here I'll be able to view what is my open request, closed request, be it incident tickets or service tickets. The complete history is available, and under each request, I'll be able to go. see what are all the details that is available. I will be able to directly reply to a ticket. This is since it is an requester's login, the options are very limited. But for an administrator or the technician, they'll have their own privileges and functionalities. All of those details is completely given in the admin guide of our portal. So here you'll be able to view the status, reply, add notes, all of the basic functionalities. In this way, as I told earlier, what we are doing is we are bridging the gap of switching between multiple applications. So that bridge is broken, and now all of the ServiceDesk Plus capabilities can be handled directly within the Microsoft Teams portal itself. So that is one of the main benefits, and hope it will be really useful for all the people who are watching the masterclass episode here. And finally, moving on to the next part here is Microsoft Outlook. So for this, let me give you another use case scenario. This, I know I'm giving multiple use cases, but this is just to keep you guys engaged with your day-to-day works here. So imagine I'm being an old school. Like I don't like speaking on Teams applications more. I would rather have all my professional communication only using email platform. Be it requesting for something very simple or be it a complicated request, I just work on emails alone. Consider me old school. So how do we satisfy those kind of users? So ServiceDesk Plus biggest ability here, what we will propose here is its versatility. ServiceDesk Plus versatility, it's that it has the ability to cater the needs of multiple users who's using the application. So be it the people who strongly demanded on Microsoft Teams or the people who strongly hooked on Outlook applications, or be it old school, for all kind of people we have provided the integrations part so that they'll also feel some seamless work experience with ServiceDesk Plus. So with the Microsoft Outlook integrated, what's the basic functionalities? It's that we'll be able to assign technicians, pick the incoming tickets, and small other additional things that is available as we see along the session here. So these are all the complete set of features and functionalities. Before that, let's see how the integration part is done. I'm just going to go here. So with the same part, as I told you for Teams, I'm just going to go navigate once again so that it'll be easier for you all. Admin tab, scroll down under apps and add-ons, integrations, and under integrations, third party, and under here, actionable messages for Outlook. So here, in case if you have already enabled Teams on your organization, the same application ID and tenant ID can be automatically populated here. It's not necessary that you'll have to raise it. Either way, it works vice versa. In case if you have first integrated Outlook and if you wanted to integrate Teams, the same details, which is application ID and tenant ID, can be copied over for Teams. Or in case if you have first worked on Teams, it can be same copy on Outlook. It's vice versa, and it can be done directly. So as I told you, for the Microsoft Teams application itself, for even for Outlook, the complete documentation part is available inside our admin guide with proper screenshots. So it's a straightforward integration. In case if you have done Microsoft Teams, then Outlook should also be a piece of cake for everyone here. So considering that we have now integrated Microsoft Outlook, let's see what are all the various features and functionalities we provide you by integrating Outlook with SDP. So by default, we'll be allowing you to pick tickets, reply to the requesters, you'll be able to add notes, make comments, and then you'll be able to approve tickets and reject tickets. So earlier, what the behavior was, when you have to approve, or even now, if you guys wanted to approve, you'll have to click on a link and it'll take you to another page. And in that another page, you'll then decide whether it's going to be approved or rejected, right? But now we have reduced all of those significant steps. It's going to be directly one button. It's just going to be a couple of buttons. Either it's going to be approve or reject. I'll show you how that is when I'm showcasing the functionalities of this Outlook here. And finally, we also support actionable messages while notifying the stakeholders. And then how to convert emails to tickets and raise new tickets directly from the Outlook portal. I also have a use case for that. Let's get started. The first, I'll be showing you the basic functionalities of the Outlook. So I've signed in into the Outlook portal here, and by default, I've signed in as a technician here. So under technician, I'll be providing you the options to add note, resolve request, view details, and in case if you want to have approval part, I'll be directly giving you approve or reject along with the details part, like along with the comments. As soon as you approve or reject, you'll be able to directly add comments. So in this way, people who are depending on Outlook for the most of their work in a day-to-day activities will find these features very much useful once integrated. So these are all the basic functionalities that is available in the Outlook. Now coming on to the final part as I discussed earlier. So remember, here the use is going to be, let's take you are one particular individual that all of your organization looks up to. So rather than let's take I'm one of the individual and my fellow colleague has some queries to me. So rather than that individual rather than raising a ticket in ServiceDesk Plus, he directly sends an email to me saying that I have an issue with my laptop here, or I have a particular service that needs to be rectified, or I have this particular incident that has to be reported. So I am a go-to person in my organization where multiple people ping me with several emails in my day-to-day work. Several people ping me. So you must be that kind of person inside our organization. So here, what the best solution here is that it is not ideal in a day-to-day condition to resolve all of those queries directly from email, because as an individual yourself, you will not be able to keep track of whom you are replying to, or whether have I answered the queries of my fellow colleagues. Like, be it considering you are an administrator or the people who in your organization who look up to. In those scenarios, we also provide you an option to we also provide you another option called as Outlook add-in. So this is where this option comes into play here. So with this add-in functionalities, what I'm trying to do is that I'm converting my emails that is sent to my email mailbox directly as request in ServiceDesk Plus. So yes, convert. So here I'm provided a screen to directly raise tickets. So here, all the description part is filled. I'll be able to add attachment. The complete template part is given here. I'll be able to choose the requester based on the email ID I've given here, or I can directly type in the email ID, and all the details can be completely entered here, and I'll be able to add a request, such that as an individual, you're also answering to the questions raised by your fellow colleagues, and also you are also recording that a question has been raised and you have answered to that particular individual, so that it will help them in case if there is an audit going on inside the organization in the back end, or someday it might find helpful. So it is always necessary and it's advisable to record any type of request that is sent in the email. Be it in case if you also don't have add-in functionality, it's always necessary that you go to the application and record and audit all the requests that is raised to you in the email part. So with this, we have finished the Outlook integration part, and now coming on to the final integration part, which is going to be Microsoft Calendar. So I'm an administrator in my organization. What happens here is, in my day-to-day working mechanism, what happens is that one of the biggest drawback I feel is I am not, as an administrator, I'm not known about the availability of my fellow colleagues or technicians. That is one of the biggest thing I'm unable to track till now, because one fine day, considering that I'm currently I have not integrated SDP and Microsoft Calendar. What happens in my day-to-day scenario is that one of my fellow colleague Rob is currently suddenly taking a sick leave, and he's just directly marked this out of office directly in Microsoft Calendar. So I haven't known, I haven't gotten any notification. What happens is that one, I asked what happened to Rob, and during that time, I just go to see the calendar. I've been notified about Rob's absence here. Then what I have to do is, I'll have to come back to the ServiceDesk Plus portal again, and then I have to mark Rob as leave in the scheduler part, so that Rob does not get assigned any tickets, or in case Rob is an approver for one of the vital critical priority tickets, I'll have to assign a backup approver. So in ServiceDesk Plus itself, if one of the technician is leave as an administrator, I am designated to do several jobs. So you see how much I'm doing in the back end just because that I don't know what my fellow technicians availability. So to bridge this gap, what we have done is we have also integrated Microsoft Calendar with ServiceDesk Plus. So in this way, you can track and sync the technicians' availability between SDP and the Microsoft Calendar directly. So what happens is that the features and functionalities of this integration will be, it's going to be bi-directional, such as if you sync the leave, in case if you add the leave in ServiceDesk Plus first, it will be directly added in your Microsoft Calendar, or if you add the leave in Microsoft Calendar, it will be directly synced in ServiceDesk Plus. It's going to be bi-directional, and you also will be able to show the reminders in ServiceDesk Plus. Both is bi-directional. Now let's see how it is done here. I'm just going to add a leave in my Microsoft Calendar. I'm anyways not available on October, so let me directly do it. I'm just going to add out of office, going for a short vacation leave. Starting on 6th, it's going to be all day. Let's say I'm just going to extend it for 3 days. So what happened is that I've taken leave. I've marked it from 16 to 17 in October here. So now let's see it is bi-directional and whether it is applicable in ServiceDesk Plus. So for that, it's basic. Go to the admin tab and then navigate to the home tab. And under home tab, navigate to scheduler. So it is currently in September. I'm switching on to I'm switching on to October. I'm just choosing the technician test user 1. So you can see here under October 16, 17, 18, automatically as soon as I added in my Outlook calendar, it's also directly synced in with SDP. So here, once the leaves have been marked, so I'll be able to now assign backup technician. I'll be able to assign backup approvers, or I'll be able to switch the incoming tickets to another technicians in Rob's absence. So these are all the benefits by integrating MS Calendar with ServiceDesk Plus. So now that we have come to the end of our session, let's see a quick recap about our masterclass episode today. So first we were discussing about SAML, what is SAML, what are all the basic functionalities of SAML, how Azure as an IDP is integrated with SDP for some seamless signing in mechanisms that is enabled for all of the users and the technicians. Secondly, we have seen how integration with teams is proven to be very vital, such that you'll be able to access bot commands, raise tickets, make approvals, also directly access ServiceDesk Plus self-service portal within the Teams platform itself. And finally, if I'm an old school guy who uses emails for my day-to-day work, how the integration with Outlook also enables me to do some basic mail actions such as approve, pickup, and also if I'm a go-to guy in my organization, what can I do to convert my email into tickets with the help of then added functionality. And finally, as an administrator, I'll be able to in real time manage the availability of my fellow technicians by integrating SDP with Microsoft Calendar. So it was very nice having this session. Thank you all for joining the session and have a wonderful and lovely day ahead and wonderful weekend ahead also. Thank you guys. Thank you.